Hi. In today's session, we're going to talk about consuming Datasphere models in Power BI and Microsoft Excel clients. This topic consists of two parts. In the first part, we're going to use OData service connectivity to access Datasphere models and consume them in Power BI. And in the second part, we're going to use ODBC connectivity to access Datasphere models data through OpenSQL schema and consume them in Power BI and Microsoft Excel clients. We're going to start with option one, or the first part, that is OData service connectivity. In this picture, you can see the source objects or the DataSphere objects as graphical views and SQL views, and also analytic models in DataSphere. So we're going to set up an OData service connectivity on these objects and then consume them in Power BI. So you can see the steps required to configure this connectivity. So we're going to start with setting up OAuth client ID in DataSphere application. And then we're going to download the custom Power BI connector from GitHub documentation provided by SAP. We're going to extract the files from the downloaded content and make a change to the connections.json file. And then we will repackage it and put it in the local machine folder where Power BI can use them as a connector. This is the summary of the process. We're going to start with setting up the OAuth client ID in Datasphere. Let's switch to the system. We have already done this process in the past for SAC. This is going to be exactly or more similar to what we have done in the past for SAC, except one change, that the redirect URI for Power BI is different than SAC. Let's take a look at in the system on how we're going to configure. So I'm in the DataSphere application. I'll have to switch to the administration part, system administration, and then access app integration tab. And then you can find OAuth clients here. And we're going to add a new client ID. I'm going to call this as Power BI Excel, and then choose interactive usage, and authorization code is also enabled by default, and then give the redirect URI that I just shown you in the PDF document. This is the redirect URI when the request is made, and then it knows where to come back. I'm going to leave the token details as they are for the refresh, expiry, and token lifetime. Say add. This is going to generate a client ID for OAuth authentication. So I'm going to copy the secret and put it in a notepad so that I can use it in the connectivity place. And also I need the client ID as well. So that's it, and close it. I can grab the authorization URL and token URL from, this is generic, so it doesn't specific to the client ID. So I already grabbed them before. So you can see them here. That's all what I needed in Datasphere administration. Then the next step is to download the connector from GitHub documentation. You can find the Power BI connector from SAP. You can also read the documentation available in this particular location. You got different versions, 1.98, and these are the older versions, and the recent version is 1.9. So you can read, it's going to be a lot of information available for you to understand. We're going to download the file. So switch to the home page, or go to the no home page and then code and then download zip. It's going to download the connector for you on your local machine in the downloads folder. You can paste this in your one of the personal folders. I pasted it in here, and then I extracted the files or unzip the file. This is going to be my place. And then once I'm opening the folder, you can see Power BI folder. And then in that folder, you can find a file called connections. This is a JSON file. Open this file. When you open it for the first time, you will not see any string information here. So you're going to say the host is going to be empty. I updated the host information that I grabbed from Datasphere application. So I can get the host information from the portal all the way up to this point. This is my host. You can copy it in your notepad, and then you're going to use this one to update the connections.json file. Just a an important note, you don't have to put HTTPS in. You can remove it and then paste it there. So that's what I did. This is what the host is. And then client ID and secret, I've just got it from this place. I'm going to put this one. This is my client ID. So I'm going to remove this one and then paste it. And then secret is also going to be this one. Um, And that's it. As I said, authorization token URL and authorized URL are not going to be changed. So I'm going to keep that as, not going to be changed in the sense what I have it on my notepad files is all. But when you're entering it for the first time, you will see everything empty. So that's what I can show you that how does the initial file look like. So when you go to the download folder, open it, and then open this one, and then open Power BI folder, and inside the connection.json file, you can see this is what the initial look and feel of the connections.json file. There's host name of the tenant without leading HTTPS, ID, and secret token URL and authorization URL. You can leave the SAC details. You can just fill in this information and then save it. I already did that. I put everything here, so I don't need to have the extra things. I save this file and then I come back, close this file, come back to the folder. And what we're going to do is to select all the files in this folder and then zip it. Send to compressed zip file. There's a note, you cannot zip the file of Power BI folder. You need to select all the individual files and just do the zip. So now I can name this as, for the zipped content, this is going to be, I can say PBI connect. I'm going to say PBI underscore connect. And then one important change that I need to make is to change the extension of this file. That is going to be MEZ. Instead of .zip, it is going to be MEZ. I can do that by enabling the folder extensions, file name extensions. So you can see clearly the file extension. So instead of zip, it is going to be called as MEZ. That's it. That's fine. I'm sure I can do this and then save it. Now this is the final object or folder that is to be placed in the right folder path so that Power BI can access this one. So I'm going to copy this one and then go to the directory. I already provided the directory. The directory for the Power BI connections is going to be your documents, and then Power BI desktop, and then custom connectors. If you don't have this path, you prepare the folder directory and then paste your file there. So I already have one, so you can choose to remove one of them and then keep just one so that Power BI can access them. So I'm going to remove the one that was there or that I have created before. So just going to remove it. And then now I can go to Power BI. This is the time I can access my connector. So go to the more and then look for SAP. You will find a connection. This is going to be for catalog and this is going to be for data. I wanted to access data. So, and say connect. And it's going to ask you for tenant URL. I provide my Datasphere tenant URL and access type is going to be, this is for graphical views and SQL views. This is for analytical models. I'm going to put relational one. And then space name, I know my space name is IT Central, and then going to provide the view name. So it is going to be by view specific. You cannot skip this one. So I'm going to give the view name that I have in. If you don't, you can just grab the view name from the data builder, graphical views, and find your view name. Or alternatively, you can all the time you can check the information from the Postman client tool. Since it is an OData service connectivity, you can have authentication generated using the APIs. So for example, if you wanted to know the relational data sets, you can access this API endpoint and identify all the graphical views that are available as relational data sets. Just click on, um, okay, you'll have to prepare the authorization. So get new access token. Okay, so no worries. I'm going to just access this one. It's generating a new access token and proceed, and then use token, send it. I will be able to get this URL information of the relational data set. So if this is going to work fine, then I can use this URL or the model there in the Power BI as well. So it just looks like this is working fine. I can see the data in this graphical view as well. So I'm going to use this graphical view there. So the graphical view name is GV underscore financials. This is what I would need in Power BI as well. So I'm going to grab this as ZV underscore financials. I can type in, that's fine. That's it, say okay. This is going to use the authentication that is provided in the connections.json file, and then we make an establish a connection to the Datasphere system. That's it, it's all done, it's connected, preparation, but yeah, just preparing the data preview with the connection. So I'm going to have GV financials as my graphical view, and then I'm going to say load the data into Power BI visualization. So I'm going to say load and then choose table data. It's going to display all the rows and columns in a tabular format as in to prepare the story. The data has been loaded, and then now I can choose to have the value um, and pick any one of the dimensions associated to it, like customer ID or account ID maybe. That's it. Data has been shown or displayed correctly here in the Power BI report. Similarly, I can access analytic model using OData service connectivity in Power BI. Well, that's all required to configure OData service connectivity to Datasphere and access the data in Power BI. In the next part, we're going to talk about accessing Datasphere model in Power BI and Microsoft Excel using ODBC connectivity. Thanks for listening and see you in the next session. Bye for now.